I was on the news, so we'll play you the report on the news. Check it out. So what happened was, I got asked a few weeks ago to go and talk about the Lough for a news report on UTV. So the Save the Lough campaign, of which I'm a minor member. I'm not one of the main organisers. I just turn up and help out when I can, with what I can. They contacted me and said, "Can you come down and talk to the press about this at the UTV? Because is there other people that are better qualified to do it? Where no one else could do it. They were all busy. So the ball was thrown to me. I lifted it, ran with it, and I did the thing. And I got about 3 seconds of airtime, as you know. So, which is fine by me. So they phoned me up. UTV just rang me direct the other day because they had my number, and they said, "Can you come down?" Because the minister has made an announcement about his 37-point plan, which has now been basically signed off on, and it's going to happen at committee, at executive level. So I was like, right, okay, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't realise that had happened. So I got asked to talk. So instead of talking to the points, I just waffled, and they used loads of my fucking waffling. So check this out. Let me see if I can get this running for you.
It's back, and there's no denying there is a problem. The emergence of blue-green algae last year was far from a one-off. There's no quick fix. Action now is expected to take years to have a real effect.
This is a generational problem we have. We're facing fine words aren't going to do anything, and plans aren't going to do anything. Action is the only thing that's going to fix this, and it's going to, even if we sprung into action today and did everything that was needed, it's 20 years before we fix this. So it's the start of it. We're not going to get overexcited, and we're going to keep the pressure on. We have to.
Part of the long-term plans here are around who owns Lough Neagh. The current owner, the Earl of Shaftesbury, would like to see it transferred to some form of charity or trust. He had what was described as a constructive meeting with the minister yesterday. Campaigners here, though, are keen to get moving with the plans.
We can't just keep using this as an open sewer, which is what we've been doing. It's a disgrace. And until we fix that, we need to stop everything that we're doing, dredging, pumping of nitrates, farm runoff, everything needs to stop, because this is only going to get worse. If that algae gets any thicker, you're going to be able to walk across that loch in the summer. It's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse.
So there we go. Pretty happy with that. I don't think, whenever you do these things, I don't feel personally qualified to be a representative of that group. There are people that are much better placed than me, but nonetheless, I think I came across quite well. And I've got so many people that have come up to me, and I've been a musician for 20 fucking years or more, and it's a struggle to get the attention that you desire, that you need for your career. But I do that on the news, and I've had people come up to me in the street. "Oh, they saw you on the news. That was class. You were brilliant. Well done." So it was nice, but yeah. Go and buy my record. So here is an update on it. So this is Save the Lough's statement on Andrew Muirs' 37-point plan. So they put this out the next day after they had an opportunity. Like, Muir had literally just that morning, that an hour before, 2 hours before, announced that this 37-point plan, which is why UTV rang me. So Save the Lough campaign then had a day to look at what he was proposing, what he was trying to do. So, statement on the Lough Neagh action plan. Our analysis of the executive approved action plan is that it is heavy on education, voluntary measures, and talk of further consultations, but very weak on actual regulation and concrete action. That word, action, to immediately tackle the pollution through reduction of nutrients entering the catchment, which is basically what I said, right? The most concerning is a lack of information on the changes to the ownership model, which impedes progress and public input into the governance, and the fact that there is no commitment to bringing an end to the disastrous going for growth, intensified agri policy, which the 5 main storming parties approved. Similarly, there is nothing on the proper management of the loch, rights of nature status, investment in sewage infrastructure, or even an independent environmental protection agency. Despite a positive media outing, the plan is nowhere close to bringing the urgent changes in management, policy and regulations needed to save Lough Neagh. We have called for a moratorium on sand dredging, while the effects on the health of Lough Neagh can be carried out. This too was ignored. The Minister professes to take a science-based approach, and yet is clearly set to continue the pollution as a policy rather than seeking to rein it in. This lacklustre action plan may prove to be the final nail in the coffin for Lough Neagh. And that's very, very sad. It falls far short of what's actually needed, and this is the main organisers of Save Our Shores, Save Lough Neagh. This is what they say. So this is Mary O'Hagan. She's a fantastic, formidable Irish woman. It falls far short of what's actually needed in many areas. When will we get an independent environmental protection agency? Where are the targets for reduction of sewage going into our rivers and slurry runoff into the loch? Where's the actual investment into research? Mary O'Hagan and James Orr from Friends of the Earth. When the loch is crying out for transformational change, we are being offered a plan that is business as usual. And if a just settlement for Lough Neagh is going to happen, we need to get rid of the going for growth, invest in sewerage, and deliver an independent environmental protection agency. James Orr, Friends of the Earth, and Mark McShane from People Before Profit. The plan lacks any commitment to reverse the decision to slash financial penalties on polluters. This, coupled with an absence of agri-policy shift from going for growth or investment in sewage treatment and water infrastructure, would suggest that pollution will continue to plague Lough Neagh. And finally, John Barry from Queen's University Belfast. The action plan is short on tangible actions, full of weak, vague and general language. I am disappointed that the Minister and his department have not requested help from ourselves, from our local universities, We should be involved in contributing our time and expertise to reversing the ecocide of the loch. Ecocide, I'm not happy to use that word, but that's a very important word. So, there we go. Growing for Growth, as you know, real quick, was introduced in 2012 by Edmund Poots, which is hilarious that man was an environment minister. And it basically intensified industrial agricultural practices around the loch and is often referred to, certainly by me, as a polluter's charter. If you could afford to pay the fine, have at it, is basically the outcome of the Growing for Growth strategy, because Northern Ireland is agri-food sector is significant, and it is significant. So just on that, the final little slide here from Save Lough Neagh, Going for Growth was a mistake, from Andrew Muirs himself, and then Save Our Loch, Save Our Shores. Then why was it not in the action plan? And will the parties who supported it U-turn? Going for Growth was wrong at its conception, incentivising pollution, and continues to wreak havoc on our environment. Why doesn't the action plan commit to undoing this disastrous agri-policy once and for all? And now that the Minister has U-turned on supporting the initiatives, will the parties, including his own, who supported Going for Growth, do the same? And Sinn Féin Alliance, the DUP, Ulster Unionists and the SDLP all supported the Going for Growth policy. And the Going for Growth policy has turbocharged the problem. It has turbocharged the pollution that is going into the loch, that has led to this terrifying algae bloom that has the potential to kill not just your dogs and swans, humans as well. So finally on that, Climate Camp Ireland is happening in Ardbow in Tyrone, the 7th to the 11th of August, and I will be playing at that with my band, Laura Kerr, Summer McGibbon, Joseph Toman, and Zachary Troughton. It's going to be our first appearance officially as Madre Rua. That's the name of our band, Madre Rua. It's not going to be me with other musicians. It's Madre Rua as a band. We're going to be playing at this, so get involved. You can. It's Slí Ella, Action for a Planet Beyond Capitalism, and just finally, the final point on this for today is I did an analysis on Andrew Muir as a liberal and what are his politics, what outcomes are his politics likely to have for the Lough. And it's just a few weeks ago, and I basically said, because Andrew Muir is a liberal, he believes in capitalism, he cannot fix this. Capitalism cannot fix this. Capitalism is what's caused this. And a capitalist solution to this capitalist problem is no solution. And that's why it's going to be based. You can see the Lough Neagh Action Plan statement from Save Our Shores and Save Lough Neagh. Every one of them mentioned the going for growth and it being the problem. That is a capitalist incentive, is a capitalist scheme to make money. And you can see there on the screen, talk of further consultation, but very weak on actual regulation. That's what it is. So there's 37. It's very mealy-mouthed. And I predicted this a few weeks ago, and so it's come to pass. This is the way it's going to go. We're going to expect these industries to regulate themselves. That's what's going to happen here, unless we do something about it. And sorry, I said finally. This is finally my final point. We're now, as a part of the campaign, we're now very concerned that the Earl, who has indicated he would like to give the Lough back to a charity or some other group like that to be managed by them, we're now terrified that that charity is being teed up as the Lough Neagh Partnership. The Lough Neagh Partnership have absolutely no business in this. They should have no business in this. They're the cause of this. The Lough Neagh Partnership masquerade as a well-meaning group looking to manage Lough Neagh in the interests of Lough Neagh. They do no such thing. They have a couple of things that they do, go out and count birds and bird hides, and you go onto their website. It's very nice and all. Do I have it? Yeah, there's it there. There's managing Lough Neagh. This is what we do. And you can go. There's a wee live stream of some birdies. It's really nice, isn't it? It's really cool. And there's a wee live stream. You can watch it on YouTube of some turns and things like that. All very important stuff. This organisation is run by and for all the extractivists, all the people that take out of the Lough, and that is their priority. That is their priority. Capitalism cannot fix this. Capitalism is the cause of this. Capitalism will use this resource until it is exhausted, and then it will move on. That is what the Earls handing this over represents. That's the start of the end of the resource. The Earl is reputational damage, or some other metric that he has in mind, has caused him to say, right, okay, I want rid of this. This is a headache. People pulled out of his bullshit festival at St Giles's house in Dorset over what's going on in Lough Neagh. Some speakers that were due to, environmentalists that were due to speak at the hippie fucking yoga fest. And I'm guessing that him being called out, he doesn't like it very much. And so he's done that. But what that represents, if he was making significant money off of this, or if he didn't see that the end is coming, he wouldn't have given that up. He hasn't given it up yet. You don't get a round of applause from me for that. So We're now terrified that Lough Neagh Partnership is the organisation, when they're talking about charities that they're looking to take it over, to run it. They're the ones, and they shouldn't be. Emerson's are on the board of this. They fund this. Emerson's are the people, well, they've been bought over, but they're the people that are doing the sand dredging. So we have absolutely no faith that Lough Neagh Partnership are fit and proper. The conflict of interest is insane with these guys, and they shouldn't be allowed anywhere near it. This should be given back to the public. It's just like, who owns a mountain? Who owns it? It's owned by the public, and we'll deal with this through democracy. We will vote our politicians in and out depending on what they think we should do with this loch. For me personally, this is top of the ticket issues for me. Like, number one, it's why I'm in People Before Profit. It's why I joined People Before Profit. I said, if some party starts representing for the loch, I will back them. And it's people. For me, it's People Before Profit. That's why I joined. It's literally why I joined.